What is up, guys? Delboy here. So, Joe Joyce's pro debut has been announced. It's official. We finally got a date. He is going to be fighting on the 20th of October in London, and his pro debut has been eagerly awaited. We've been sort of waiting on some news, and we've been sort of waiting to see who he's going to be fighting in his first pro fight. Obviously, Joe Joyce had a good amateur career. Most notably, he won a silver medal at the Rio Olympics, and a lot of people felt he should have won a gold medal. A lot of people felt he beat Tony Yoka in the final. A lot of people felt he outworked him and sort of just done the more significant damage. So I felt he was a bit unfortunate not to win the gold medal, but it's been known for quite some time that he's going to turn professional. He signed with David Haye and Ringstar Sports. So yeah, it's finally good to get some news. And his debut is not an easy fight. He's going to be fighting Ian Lewison. And considering this is his first pro fight, that is quite a dangerous fight to take, in my opinion. Ian Lewison has a record of 12 wins, 3 defeats, 1 draw. 8 of those 12 wins coming by way of knockout. I've seen quite a few of Ian Lewison's fights. He doesn't come into the ring in the best of shape. He's never taken his pro career as seriously as he should have done, because he was a good amateur. I think he beat Orlando Solis in the amateurs. Lewison was a good amateur, but as a professional, he's just never really taken it seriously. He's never got the breaks he needs. And, it's just one of those stories. But regardless of that, he's still a dangerous fighter. Ian Lewison can crack. He's been in a British title fight against Dillian Whyte. He had his moments in that fight, but Dillian Whyte kind of ground him down and stopped him. But yeah, it's a good first test for Joe Joyce. Because like I said, he does crack. Ian Lewison's got a bit of power there. I think early on in that fight, Ian Lewison's going to be dangerous, because Ian Lewison likes to come out fast. He'll come out swinging, and he tries to get you out of there early, because Ian Lewison's conditioning is not great. So if it goes past a couple of rounds, 2 or 3 rounds, then you'd expect Joe Joyce to take over and take him out. But early on, it could be dangerous for Joe Joyce. And they definitely weren't joking when they said they wasn't going to mess around with Joe Joyce. David Haye and Richard Schaefer both said that they want to move this guy along quickly. And I can see why, because he's not the youngest guy in the world. I think Joe Joyce is 30, 31? He's not a young pup. And I appreciate heavyweights. Heavyweights don't they don't age quite as quickly as other fighters, but Joe Joyce has a style where it's high octane, and that sort of style, regardless of what weight class you're in, that sort of style is going to deteriorate faster than other styles. So I can see why they're going to push him harder. I can see why they're going to make him go along the levels quicker. I can definitely see why they're doing it. And Joe Joyce is actually 32 this month, so he's not exactly got time to waste. I've been hearing things about Joe Joyce fighting for world titles in less than 10 fights, in 8, 9, 10 fights. Maybe that's a route they're going to go down. I'm interested to see how Joe Joyce progresses. I'm interested to see how he sort of takes his style into the pros, because in the amateurs, Joe Joyce was a pressure fighter. He liked to come forward, really work that body, work that head with these clubbing shots. He would just come forward, use his size, use his strength, use his conditioning to try and wear his opponents out. And he was a pressure fighter. Can he do that for 12 rounds in the pro game? Because it's okay doing it for 3 rounds. Can that style be done for 12 rounds in the heavyweight division? It's possible, because we've seen guys like Jarrell Miller. He can throw a lot of punches, and he's a big guy. He kind of manages his stamina quite well. Also, Adam Kaunowski, where he recently beat Arthur Spilka, and he has a style where he likes to come forward, let his hands go, throw a hell of a lot of punches, and try and grind his man down. So the style can be done in the heavyweight division. I just feel in the heavyweight division it's harder to pull off. Being a bigger guy, you're going to have to manage your stamina a lot better. These guys tend to tire out quicker. If Joe Joyce has a remarkable gas tank and he can sustain it, then I think he's going to be a problem. From what I see online, a lot of people in the UK are not so high on Joe Joyce. Me personally, I've got an open mind. I can see his style working. I can see him getting some wins. He is quite raw. He is quite clumsy. But, George Foreman was kind of raw and clumsy and sort of cumbersome. But he made it work for himself. He did have a good jab, George Foreman, to work off. And, from what I see from Joe Joyce, he doesn't have a good jab. But he has got a great engine. So if he can work off that engine, work off that conditioning and toughness, then maybe he can go somewhere. I'm not sure what his power's like. We'll soon see. But his style's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing him fight. And I'm looking forward to the journey because I think it's going to be fun. He looks like a tough old boy, though, I'll tell you that much. He looks like a pit bull. So I can't see this guy being chinny or not up for the fight. I'm looking forward to it. Joe Joyce versus Ian Lewison on the 20th of October. That's a great fight for me. What do you guys think? Peace.